it's all on you now. And just give me some reaction. I just want what you know. I like the way you move. Really wanna get with you.
Welcome back to Rubbing Minds, the special youth debate edition, continuity versus change. And during the commercial break, we had another coin toss, and a member from Team GMB won that and decided to pass it on to Team GJ. We have two new panelists in the house, Mukhtar Daniyan for Team GJ, and of course, Akintunde Oyebode from Team GMB. We're going to start with you, Mukhtar, and I want to talk on security. It seems to be the one factor that has shaped President Jonathan's presidency, and will have to shape it if he gets re-elected. Sure. What is he going to be doing differently for Nigerians to vote him in this time?
Well, I mean, the truth of the matter is, whether we like it or not, President Goodluck Jonathan has, by virtue of events beyond his control, become a wartime president. When he came in, Nigeria was going through a period of peace and prosperity, and unfortunately, certain elements driven by a completely ridiculous ideology decided to throw constitutional rule out of the window and institute Islamic fundamentalism in parts of the nation. Unfortunately, when it happened, like with most other great leaders, the president was caught unawares. You know, in 1942, Pearl Harbor, President Roosevelt of the United States was caught unawares. Stalin, when Poland was invaded and the Soviet Union was caught unawares. Goodluck Jonathan, when the Chibok girls were abducted, was caught unawares. However, since then, he has really amped his game up. Right now, he has become an excellent, excellent, excellent wartime president every single day. And by the way, I want to thank our brave men and women in uniform who daily make the ultimate sacrifice to maintain Nigeria's territorial integrity. Every day, these people are fighting for us and are thankfully beating back the insurgents of Boko Haram. So Goodluck Jonathan has been doing a great job. He started off horribly. If anyone knows, I criticized him in many ways, but it seems like he did listen to the criticisms. He did do what needed to be done. And right now, for the first time in many years, the Nigerian military is better equipped, has better training, and is more capable than ever before. So in terms of security, again, he started off, he was caught unawares, unfortunately, but he's rebounded since then and he's doing an absolutely amazing job, in my opinion.
Thank you very much, Mukhtar. Akin, anything stand out there for you?
I mean, I like what the gentleman has said. He's honest enough to say he started off badly. He's name-checked FDR, but I'd like to remind him, FDR wasn't caught dancing on cameras 24 hours after a bomb went off in his country. I think that's a dereliction of duty and a sign of incompetence and neglect. And I think that we mustn't limit security to the military and to arming our forces. So first, there's a clear budgetary issue. 90% of our security budget goes into recurrent expenditure, right? If you have a budget skewed in that direction, it's only clear that you're going to struggle to arm the soldiers. Secondly, security starts from even policing. This government has had 4 years to support and to reform the Nigerian police force. There's a police reforms document that's been lying fallow, right? So we have a police force that's badly trained, badly equipped. So the basic tenets of security are even flawed today. So what we're doing is we're attacking a symptom, right, while the disease goes on unabated. And I think for me, it's a big flaw of this government, and it's a major sign, and it's a major reason why people, come March 28th, should definitely vote for a new government. Thank you.
Mukhtar?
Yes, unfortunately, FDR could not have danced, no matter what. He was paralyzed from the waist below. But having said that, President Jonathan, in terms of the police, which he spoke about, for the first time in our nation's history, most people might know, the Nigerian Defense Academy started awarding degree-level diplomas back in the 80s. The police college hasn't. For the first time in our nation's history, under the able leadership of President Goodluck Jonathan, the police college is also going to be doing the same thing. Police formations across the country are getting more arms, are getting more equipment. Military formations across the country are getting more arms, more equipment. Yes, it's true, our military recurring expenditure is high, but we also know that we need to train people. And when you train people, you have to pay them a salary. We do not have an all-volunteer army. That's where a lot of our recurring expenditures go. We have to maintain our barracks. We have to maintain our arms and ammunition. That's recurring expenditure. So I don't know what plan you have and what plan APC has, but you can't cut all those things out and expect a functioning army. I'm sure you have a gate man. You do pay him, right? That's recurring expenditure. No problem.
Thank you very much, Mukhtar. I know security seems to be a very, very sensitive topic right now, but I just want to switch to economy for a bit now and talk a little more about, with General Muhammadu Buhari now, he's running this campaign and I seem to talk a lot about how he wants to fight insurgency. And he talks about the economy a few times, but we don't seem to know a lot about the how he's going to do that. What is he offering and how does he plan on executing this?
So I think if you look at the trajectory of less developed economies, you'll find that the bane of our economic growth today has to be agriculture. Now, well, I'll be generous enough to say Ministry of Agriculture has done decently, but we focused on the wrong thing. So we focused on commercial agriculture instead of what really grows nations, which is essentially smallholder farming. Now, what you need and what we're bringing to the party is, one, an optimization of land administration. So that's the bane. Agriculture is two things. It's land and labor, and it's how those two things interact. So first, it's a reform of the land administration process to optimize that and ensure that smallholder farmers own their land. Now, secondly, is to give them the right incentives in the right crops to ensure, one, there's self-sufficiency of food, and two, to ensure export discipline. So there's a guaranteed price scheme, for example, which you realize in less developed countries used to subsidize the farmers to ensure that production levels get to a certain stage. Now, what you find is as you get more people into primary agriculture, you get to a point where you become a self-sufficient state, and so you save foreign exchange, right? And that's our plan at the APC. Now, once you start saving foreign exchange, which you normally use to import food, you then pass that on into the industries. So that's what then forms capital formation for businesses and all of that. Now, if you look at small business development again, which is a major problem today, access to finance is really struggling. So you have less than 5% of the SMEs in Nigeria can access formal finance. Now, one of the things we want to optimize, for example, is the alternative securities markets, which ensures that small-scale businesses, growth stage businesses, can access capital and ensures that investors are confident enough to know that they can bring money to invest in those small-stage businesses because there's a liquidity event in, say, 4 or 5 years. Now, it's interesting, you see that in the United States where Alex, right, lives, you'll find that 20% of the GDP of that country comes from businesses that started from venture funding, right? And so it's optimizing capital formation. This government has presided over an administration where capital formation to the private sector has dropped from 38% annual growth rate to 3% now. Now, if you can't form capital, you can't administer the land processes properly, obviously, you're going to see the kind of growth we're seeing. So what our government is bringing to the table, one, is deepening access to finance. There's a small business guarantee scheme. There's a guaranteed price scheme for farmers. And it's ensuring that when we get smallholder farming rights, we can then first create a level of sufficiency for our feeding, move our capital into the industries, right? And then you see people migrate from the farmlands to work in the industries, right? And when you see that migration, you then start to mechanize agriculture. So you create jobs, you optimize production, and you bring the factors of production together. So I think from the APC standpoint, we've identified 3 or 4 policy items that can stimulate growth, and that's the core basis of General Buhari's campaign.
Thank you very much. Mukhtar?
Well, I'm sure it's no secret at this point in time that General Buhari started with 150 cows about 20 years ago and still has 150 cows. If a man who has 150 cows can't grow his herd over the course of 16, 17, 18 years, I'll be very reluctant to trust that man with any sort of farming or agriculture policy. But having said that, I don't know how old you are, and I don't know how much experience you have with Nigeria's geopolitical history, but in 1984, when Muhammadu Buhari was president, he retrenched hundreds of thousands of people. You know what his solution was? His solution was for them to go farm. He told them pretty much everything you've said here. Go to the farms and farm. Guess how much support he gave them, Nigeria? Literally none. At the end of the day, Nigeria became a beggar nation. People had to go to the commodities board to get essential commodities. That's not the kind of life I want for myself. That's not the kind of life you want for yourself. Thirdly, and again, I don't know what statistics you're looking at, of Nigeria's GDP, are you aware of what percentage comes from agriculture at this point in time? It's over 40%.
That's false.
More than ever, I didn't interrupt you, sir. Please respect my time. More than ever before, Nigeria's agricultural sector is thriving. Go talk to any small or medium-sized farmer, and they'll tell you the same thing. They are extremely happy with President Goodluck Jonathan's initiatives. For example, the fertilizer scam, which had been a recurrent feature of most military regimes, is finally gone. It's a matter of history. Now, anybody who wants to farm and needs fertilizer, there is a way to get that. That's the sign of a great leader. He looks out for other people and not a clique, which is what General Buhari did in 1984, where he awarded fertilizer and other things to his cronies who claimed to be farmers, but merely got that stuff and did God knows what with it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can you have 1 minute?
Thanks. I think it's interesting. The gentleman has clearly thrown decorum to the wind. He started insulting our candidates. I won't degenerate to such levels. I'll stick to the facts. You said 40% of our GDP comes from agriculture. That's blatantly false. Agri contributes less than 30% of Nigeria's GDP, especially after it was rebased, where the service sector now contributes 51% of GDP. So again, I think you need to check your facts properly. So this is not a noise-making exercise. This is a fact-based discussion. Agriculture grew by 6.4% in 2011. It was growing at 7% annually before this government came into office. Guess what agri grew at last year? I'm sure he doesn't know. It's 4.6%. So with all the fancy stories, agriculture is growing at less than 5% per annum. We're spending still close to 1 trillion naira importing food. So this is not a noise-making discussion. This is not a discussion about insulting a honest Nigerian for having 150 cows. Anyway, I think I'm done. Let's stay.
Thank you very much, Akin. We're going to have to stop there. I know it's getting very heated in here. But when we come back, we're going to be talking about something that's very close to my heart, about the youth and employment. Please stay with us.